Okay, let's just go ahead and address the absolute massive elephant in the room right now for anyone studying finance. You're probably looking at your calendar, looking at your career goals, and asking yourself the ultimate question. Do I push through and sit for the exam in 2026, or do I wait for this completely revamped 2027 curriculum?
Well, welcome to this explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled to have you here because today we are going to completely demystify these 2027 CFA curriculum changes. We're going to break down exactly what these official updates actually mean for your study plan, your timeline, and honestly, your career. We're going to take all that noise and confusion out there and turn it into absolute clarity. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the big 2027 switch, then dive into the major overhauls in Level 1. After that, we'll look at ethics in the upper levels, map out what is staying exactly the same, and finally, lock in your winning strategy. All right, kicking things off with Part 1, the big 2027 switch. Listen, we aren't dealing in Reddit rumors here. We are looking directly at the official updates that were announced by the CFA Institute on May 26, 2026. These changes are locked in. They officially take effect for all exams starting in the February 2027 window. It's pretty black and white. If you sit in 2026, you're on the old curriculum. Sit in February 2027 or later, and you are officially in the new era. So where is all this change actually happening? Well, almost all of the curriculum growth is heavily concentrated right at Level 1. We're seeing the total module count expand from 93 modules in 2026 up to 102 modules in 2027. Meanwhile, Levels 2 and 3, they remain remarkably stable, mostly just seeing some structural restructuring in the ethics section. So if you're a Level 1 candidate, you need to pay very close attention right now. That brings us straight into Section 2, Level 1, and those major overhauls. I really want you to reframe how you think about these changes for a second. Don't look at them as hurdles. These are massive career upgrades. The biggest headline grabber here is the Quantitative Methods overhaul. The legacy curriculum, it was super heavy on theoretical statistics and gave this really basic intro to big data, backed by some incredibly dense prerequisite readings. Well, the new 2027 curriculum drops those prerequisites completely. Instead, it shifts to highly practical, employable skills. We're talking about the introduction of artificial intelligence, large language models, and financial data science. And honestly, the best part is that you'll learn to implement Monte Carlo and historical simulations hands-on using Excel and Google Sheets. This is just a massive leap from pure theory into modern fintech reality. Now, to support this highly practical shift, the CFA Institute is introducing interactive online lessons. They're calling them Equation Explorers, and they're starting this off with the time value of money. So instead of just staring blankly at a complex formula and trying to memorize it, you can actually go in, dynamically adjust the key variables, and instantly see how the tables and graphs shift in real time. It literally rewires your brain from rote memorization to true conceptual understanding. And trust me, that is exactly what you need to survive those tricky, nuanced exam day questions. Then we have the second major overhaul, equities. This section jumps from 8 modules to 12. We are completely moving away from broad textbook overviews. In fact, market efficiency has been dropped entirely from Level 1. In its place, the new curriculum is laser-focused on actual real-world analyst workflows. You'll dive deep into discounted cash flows, learn the distinct differences between buy-side and sell-side research, and figure out how to actually write an equity analyst report. It's essentially designed to prepare you for the actual day-to-day work you do in an equity research role. Moving right along to Section 3, Ethics and the Upper Levels. Okay, so the crucial thing to understand here is that the core ethical rules haven't actually changed, but the structure, that's been totally revamped based on the version 12 handbook. Instead of one massive, intimidating reading, ethics is now cleanly split into one dedicated module per standard. Because of this split, Level 1 ethics grows from about 5 modules to roughly 10. And here is a huge update for Level 1 candidates. GIPS, the Global Investment Performance Standards, has been removed entirely from Level 1. It's been pushed up to Level 3. Now, if you're taking Level 2 or 3, this ethics restructuring is essentially the only major change you have to worry about. And those Level 3 specialized pathways, completely untouched. All right, time for Section 4, what stays exactly the same. Let's all just take a collective deep breath and release some of that tension, okay? Because a vast amount of this material isn't changing at all. 7 out of the 10 topics remain entirely unchanged in content. Economics, financial statement analysis, fixed income, derivatives, and alternative investments, they carry over exactly as they were. Corporate issuers is simply getting renamed to corporate finance, and portfolio management is getting renamed to portfolio construction. But the actual learning outcomes underneath are totally identical. This means the vast majority of your 2026 prep materials for these specific topics are completely safe to carry forward into 2027. And to reassure you even further, literally 100% of the topic weights remain absolutely identical to 2026. Ethics is still sitting at 15 to 20%. FSA and equities are still 11 to 14%. Fixed income is 11 to 14. Portfolio management 8 to 12. Quant, corporate issuers, and economics are all 6 to 9. Alternatives 7 to 10, and derivatives 5 to 8%. So what does this all actually mean for you? It means your mock exam strategies, your time allocation, and your overall study prioritization do not need to change one bit. The game board is exactly the same, they just updated a few of the pieces.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 5, your winning strategy. It's time for the attack phase. You have got to pick your exam window carefully. Both August and November 2026 are tested on the current 2026 curriculum. November 2026 is your absolute last chance to test on the old material. After that, we cross the boundary. February 2027 kicks off the very first window for the new 2027 curriculum, followed, of course, by May 2027.
So here is my direct, one-on-one advice to you. If you are already mid-prep, if you're deep into those 2026 books, do not switch midstream. Just stick to the August or November 2026 windows and finish the job you started. But if you're starting fresh right now, aim straight for February or May 2027. Study the 2027 curriculum from day one. To manage your time smartly, front-load the 70% of topics that are completely unchanged. Oh, and here's a critical date you need to circle on your calendar. If you want that February 2027 window, the early registration deadline is July 7, 2026. Hitting that deadline literally saves you $350, so don't miss it. Look, if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed by the idea of having to learn new material, I totally get it. But flip the script for a second. This new material, it equals resume boosters. Treat this updated curriculum as a career gift, not just exam trivia to cram and forget. That new quant reading covering AI, large language models, and Excel simulation is insanely employable. When you pair all of that with the mandatory Python practical skills module, you are literally building the exact analytical skill stack that the modern finance industry is aggressively hiring for right now.
Which leaves us with one final, incredibly important question to ask yourself as we wrap up this explainer. Look closely at your own personal career timeline right now. Are you going to put your head down and sprint to finish in 2026? Or are you going to embrace the changes and totally upgrade your analytical toolkit in 2027? The choice is entirely yours, but now you have the exact roadmap to make the right decision. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy studying.